My brother-in-law, I'm like, so sorry. I'm so sorry. If it is me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So that should be resolved within 24 hours and maybe sooner. Now, we are also told, and I think this is really interesting, that the glove that was tested is not the glove that the New York Post found. It is a different glove. He says that he has video. He has video of Nancy Guthrie with the main kidnapper on what probably would be the last day of her life. That's the way he puts it here. He says, what it contains is my definition of delivering it on a silver platter, a short video of the main guy with Nancy the day that was probably her last. He also says that he has names, addresses, phone numbers of the kidnappers. Now, he says he has that video in a phone, and the phone is turned off. It is in a secure, secret location, but a location easy to find if you know where to look. And that's what he says. He doesn't say a safe deposit box, but he says easy to find if you know where to look. And he says that if he gets a Bitcoin, he will deliver, as he puts it, on a silver platter, exactly how to get access to this phone, including the password.
After waiting for the most traumatizing 5 months of their lives, music, the Guthrie family finally has something that gives them hope regarding the jarring disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. Music, a trail of blood, 2 ransom deadlines, multiple masked images of the suspect, and some other discoveries. Every new update since February 2026 has made the case more and more twisted. Was it an insider's job? Was it an abduction? Or maybe a robbery gone wrong? Even after involving the greatest investigation team in the United States, not a single soul is able to tell what happened until now.
John, I think a lot of us are kind of scratching our heads a little bit because we're getting a lot of quote-unquote new details this week. But these are details that have been known to news stations for months. Particularly, our own sister station was aware of the details of these notes since February. From the FBI side of things, why would the FBI urge a local news station not to release details from these ransom notes?
It all started on January 31st when Nancy was dropped off at home after visiting her daughter, Annie. The last person to see her before the kidnapping was her son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni. After that, the way the kidnapping was executed made everyone believe that it was not an amateur's job. First, the doorbell camera of Guthrie's residence was disconnected, then the security equipment was tampered with, followed by the victim's pacemaker being disconnected from her phone app. The security footage revealed a masked man with no identifiable details. A local news station received the first ransom note demanding $4 million in Bitcoin by February 5th or $6 million by February 9th.
When I called him, he knew.
He knew.
And he said, I think she's been for ransom. And I said,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Well, why? What? And then, it sounds so like how dumb could I be? But I didn't want to believe. I just said, do you think because of me? And he said, I'm sorry, sweetie, but yeah, maybe. But I knew that.
You did.
I hope not. We still don't know. Honestly, we don't know anything.
No.
We don't know anything. So I don't know
Yeah.
that it's because she's my mom and somebody thought, oh, that girl, that lady has money, we can make a quick buck. I mean, that would make sense, but we don't know. But yeah, that's probably, which is too much to bear. To think that I brought this to her bedside, that it's because of me. And I just say, I'm so sorry, Mommy. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to my sister and my brother and my kids and my nephew and Tommy and my brother-in-law. I'm like so sorry. I'm so sorry. If it is me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
CBS News also revealed that the paper's note goes on to describe the exact location of Nancy's Apple Watch inside her bedroom. A detail that had never been made public and was meant to show the ransom demand was the real deal. The family wasted no time and released a statement agreeing to the paper's demands while emphasizing the importance of medication for their mother.
She's 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please.
Every passing day increased the chances of Nancy's death. After the second deadline passed, the authorities released Guthrie's security footage showing a masked man with a backpack tampering with the security equipment. Two people ended up in the spotlight after these details were revealed. A 36-year-old DoorDash delivery guy, identified by electronic investigative tools, and the last person who saw her, Nancy's son-in-law, Tommaso Chioni.
That I have is impeccable. And he said that not only were the cameras smashed, plural cameras smashed, so that the suspect likely knew about the locations of them, but that the car belonging to the sister of Savannah Guthrie, Annie Guthrie, was towed, impounded, and taken into evidence. And this is the wording. It's very important. The wording is very important. He said they now believe the son-in-law may be the prime suspect. Those are the words. Son-in-law may be the prime suspect at this point. And I'm very mindful. I covered the Elizabeth Smart case. I was out in Salt Lake City for 5 weeks while Elizabeth Smart had vanished. And I recall specifically a lot of language saying Ed Smart is likely the prime suspect here. And so you got to be really mindful that, as you know, Megan, you're a lawyer. Police investigations start in the middle of the circle and they go out in concentric circles in terms of investigating family members, right? You start in the middle of the family, you investigate out from there. Then you go to contractors and friends and workers and everybody else who's had some contact. And then there's the randoms. So it is not surprising that someone in the family is being looked at. That language to me was pretty strident, though.
The DoorDash delivery man was released after some intense interrogation after repeatedly telling the officers that he was innocent.
This is her house, and the subject is her son-in-law.
Yeah,
is that right?
Son, yeah.
Tell me how this happened. Where was he when he was detained?
My daughter and him and the kids, my grandkids, were doing DoorDash when they got stopped here, and I don't know what kind of questions they asked them. But when we got home, I wasn't at home. When we got home, we found out that they took my son out. They went inside, they busted the doors from my house. They went inside and took my son to the living room and had him handcuffed and then got him outside. That's when the time that we got home and we asked what was going on and they couldn't say anything. And they said, and I asked him to have a search warrant to go in my house. And they said, we don't need a search warrant, we could go do that if we want to. So I told them, yeah, I think you need a search warrant. Why did you break my door? You took my son the wrong way. I mean, you hurt him. His wrists were with the handcuffs.
Let me ask you, were you familiar with the Nancy Guthrie case? Had you seen that she was missing?
Like I told you, I saw it on Facebook, but since I don't know her, I didn't read what was going on. The story.
Did they take electronic devices at all? Did they take your phone?
I don't have anything. They took my phone.
They
took my phone, my husband's phone, my daughter's phone, my grandkid's phone, and my son-in-law's phone.
Not only was the man confident, but his family also stated on live television that they had absolutely nothing to hide.
These are the pictures from outside Nancy Guthrie's house.
Mm-hmm.
This is who they're looking for. Do the eyes look like your son-in-law at all?
No, not at all.
Do you see the mouth?
Yeah, no. He doesn't look at all.
Brian, can you ask what her son-in-law's
what's
name
his
is?
name?
It's Carlos. Carlos Palazuelos.
Sorry, what's his name?
Carlos.
Carlos.
Yes.
And what's his last name?
Palazuelos.
Okay.
I don't know, yeah. So.
And does he work in Tucson? Would he ever be in Tucson?
He's in Tucson all week. He works delivering boxes for like UPS and he works with a company. And I told him you can call the company that he works there and verify that he's working. And
is your daughter also detained?
No, they just let my daughter and my grandkids go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Josefina.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the latest here, Jesse. They took her phone too, her husband's phone, and her daughter's phone, and obviously her son-in-law's phone, and they are searching her house right now. So this is sort of an unfolding situation.
And I'll get into this with Arthur, the fact that they didn't have a search warrant, according to her. Do you know where Carlos is right now, Brian?
Do we know where Carlos is right now?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. They took my phone. I can't reach with nobody.
Yeah, we think he's being questioned. But...
Yeah, they already asked us a lot of questions about him. We told, like I said, I have nothing to hide. You can go in my house. You can search anything you want. There's nothing to hide. I don't know the lady. I don't know about the lady. I saw her on Facebook, but like I told you.
Was he ever violent? Any violent, Carlos?
No, he's a good guy.
In the same day, around 5 p.m., the ransom amount was transferred by a Bitcoin. However, the question remains, who did it? The doorbell disconnects and the security camera is disrupted. Whoever did it had been keeping an eye on Nancy for a while to know their way around the place. Or maybe it was an insider's job. It's not like any sounds were heard by the neighbors. Whatever happened very quietly. Not only that, but on February 7th, Savannah posted a video seemingly secretive and directed towards her, claiming she has received the message. What message was she talking about? No one knows. An FBI spokesperson tried to explain it, but not a lot of trust can be put in it since Savannah herself dodged the question. And the most suspicious thing, nearly 14 days after Nancy's thing, the authorities found one of the napper's gloves with what was claimed to be unknown DNA after running it in the national database.
That glove, we're told, is in Arizona right now. This is called a PCR test. It's the most sophisticated DNA test. It's the gold standard. Usually takes just a day to get the results. We are told that in the next 24 hours, once that glove is tested and the results are in, that profile will go into the CODIS system. So that should be resolved within 24 hours and maybe sooner. Now, we are also told, and I think this is really interesting, that the glove that was tested is not the glove that the New York Post found. It is a different glove. So up to this point, everybody, and really us included, we assumed that was the glove. We are now told by people connected to this, it is not the glove. It is a different glove that authorities found.
Does it really make sense? Out of all the registered existing Americans, not a single match for the DNA was found? This could have been the easiest way to find out who was behind all this. However, the investigative team's desperation for evidence did not seem to be satisfied even music after getting such a big clue. Here's what the officials had to say.
And all we need is a kernel of information, a name, and perhaps something from those forensic testing results will give us a name that will help us cull through all of that data and propel this investigation forward.
And what kind of data sets are we looking at here?
So, the easiest thing would be to say that, every cell phone in the vicinity of that house is hitting a tower, and it's registering to that tower. So the investigators surely have that information. They know which phones, and they're holding on to it, and they'll certainly have looked at it in some measure. Are these phones that have been hitting the same tower for the last 6 months? Are there phones that have only been hitting the tower for the last week? Are there phones that only hit the tower twice and have never come, back to those same towers ever again? There's a lot of information to be had, right? Because now you can distinguish between residents and people who've just, traveled through the area once. And that can be helpful. License plate readers, right? Your cars are getting picked up all the time as they travel through different areas. And is that information helpful? Now, how do you distinguish somebody just driving through a neighborhood versus the person of interest?
While everyone else was getting more and more confused by every new reveal, Savannah appeared in an interview grieving her mother once again.
Someone needs to do the right thing. We are in agony.
Yeah.
We are in agony. It is unbearable. And to think of what she went through. I wake up every night, in the middle of the night, every night. And in the darkness, I imagine her terror. And it is unthinkable, but those thoughts demand to be thought.
Yeah.
And I will not hide my face. That she needs to come home now.
Yes.
What can one even do if not grieve when the so-called best investigative team in the world keeps getting important evidence, but doesn't know what to do with it? Music, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Another large lead was rendered useless after the FBI failed to utilize it properly. Besides the face mask and gloves, the third most noticeable thing in the security footage happened to be the backpack that the kidnapper was carrying.
So if you think about the way big box stores track their inventory, it's quite possible they would know when every single Ozark backpack was sold and what time and so forth, and hence you have law enforcement looking at the surveillance cameras. You already have a physical description, have an idea of what this person looks like. So all of this evidence is helpful, including the DNA evidence. It helps to narrow the field so the police aren't looking for someone in New York. At least they know perhaps it's someone that is local, if they still are. So these are important leads. Will they garner results immediately? Only time will tell, but they're certainly important leads.
The first ransom note was the kidnapper asking for millions of dollars via Bitcoin, while the second note seemed to be more of an update on Nancy's condition, indicating that she might have died. Unlike the first note, the second one wasn't revealed publicly, and the words of 3 close, yet unnamed, people had to be trusted. Why the blind faith? No one knows. However, despite receiving the indication of her mother's death, Savannah still appeared on the Today Show.
I cry every morning on the way to work, and I cry every morning on the way home. And I'm grateful to have good friends and to be able to come to such a beautiful and joyous and supportive place. And like so many people out there, you can hold all of these things together. I try to tell my kids that too, you know? We can hold our sadness and we can hold our joy. And just, if you don't believe it, just watch me.
In one of her media appearances, Guthrie kept begging the public for help as well, reassuring them that despite the heartbreaking news, any leads would be greatly appreciated.
I don't have any comment on the story, and I'm not involved in our coverage, but I can't pretend I'm not here. And so since I am, I wanted to just take the opportunity to to ask people to beg people to come forward. Somebody knows something. And this is a news story today that is on your radar, but this is the life that my sister lives, that I live, that my brother lives, that our extended families live, that our children live every day. And we are in agony. And we cannot be at peace. So no matter how much I try to come out here every day and smile and find that joy, and I will, I promise I will. This is a moment to tell you that we need your help. We're begging for your help. And I'm not gonna miss that opportunity. And so please, if you're watching, no matter how small, the reward is there. You can tell us, it can be anonymous. Please do the right thing for us, for our family, for our children. And we love our mom, and we'll never stop looking for her, never.
To your point, if you have any information, if you're watching, if you're listening, if you have any information at all that could help investigators and could help this family find just a modicum of peace, the phone number is right there on your screen. 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Although the general consensus was that Nancy is probably dead, the Pima County Sheriff refused to release that statement officially, claiming law enforcement is unable to declare a person deceased without confirming the presence of a dead body. Needless to say, there have been multiple points in this case where the public has raised their concern with the way stuff is being handled.
Is there information that you are purposefully withholding because of the active investigation that might be leading you in a particular direction?
Criminal investigation that we conduct here. Law enforcement has conducted investigations since 1865 here in Pima County. We're always mindful of what it is that's in front of us and what we should release and can release. There's legal guidelines that guide us, but there's also strategy too. So, I'll leave that for you to determine.
Now that you are having such an injection of manpower from the Pima critical incident team and the FBI, we just slow to bring that in at the outset. Should all of these resources been brought to bear sooner?
I guess that it's Monday morning quarterbacking. I do it all the time, so you have the opportunity to do it for me. I'll take that hit.
After being revived by a few clues now and then, music, the Nancy Guthrie abduction case had gone silent until it was brought back to life once again, music, with an email sent to TMZ. The email included shocking details regarding the culprits, like hints to actual video evidence. But how do we know if it's a real email or a bored person on the internet? Turns, music, out it had the same email and Bitcoin address that was used to receive the ransom money. However, despite being asked, the sender refused to share the video evidence due to paranoia regarding metadata tracking.
Today is Friday, June 26th, and we have received another email from the man who says he knows who Nancy Guthrie's kidnappers are and can lead the FBI to those for 1 Bitcoin. So the man writes that he has clearly been following things we've been saying, questioning the FBI telling us that the person who wrote this might be a female. The person does not say he's a male for sure, but he puts a big question mark there, and then also puts a question mark where we say we might be doing a documentary. So he says in this email that he is not, as he puts it, I am not the idiot who recently called in a tip about her burial site in Mexico. He goes on to say, only 2 are directly involved, and I doubt they would be the ones calling to snitch on themselves. So he has said to us before that there were multiple kidnappers and there was a main kidnapper, but definitely plural kidnappers. He has said that before. In this email, which, by the way, we have sent to the FBI, he says that he has video. He has video of Nancy Guthrie with the main kidnapper on what probably would be the last day of her life. That's the way he puts it here. He says, while what it contains is my definition of delivering it on a silver platter, a short video of the main guy with Nancy the day that was probably her last.
Will the police actually get to the bottom of this crime, or will they handle it like the other leads? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.